I was really worried going into prison. Prison in Japan is a nasty place, and there's a lot of violence, and there's a lot of score settling and stuff like that. And I'll never forget walking down the first time in my ward, and there's about 100 prisoners per floor, and walking along the thing, and there was all these weary caged animals looking out at me, and there's this definite food chain in prison, and everyone's sizing you up to see where you fit in. But what happened with my entrance, my security detail to get me to prison was over 100 people just to escort me like the 5 kilometres to prison. And then when they took me into the ward, I was still handcuffed and shackled, tied to a guard in front and behind, and a dozen guards to escort me the last 100 metres. And what happened was all the other inmates are like, whoa, who is this evil man? He must be really bad. And I would have been the biggest pussy in that prison. But it gave me such credibility in there by being escorted by all these guards that no one messed with me in my whole time there. And, I just had to look at inmates, and they would kind of bow their head and look away. There was this perception that I really was this evil, dangerous terrorist that media had portrayed me as. And the guards sort of reinforced that view by being so careful whenever they moved me around that no one messed with me. But it was an intimidating experience, and I was happy to get out of there unscathed and without having any fights or anything. One thing that happened in prison, you're not allowed to talk to anyone, and you sneak little words here and there, and you have a lot of them use sign language to sort of communicate when the guards aren't looking. But because you can't really get a conversation going with the inmates, it's possible to keep up that facade of you that you are really evil. But it was a double-edged sword, and that I especially towards the end of my time there, I just got miserable having no one to talk to. It's a form of solitary confinement, and I started talking a lot to myself. I started doing lots of exercise in my cell and different things to just try and make the day go. When you can't talk to anyone, it's a miserable existence, and I was certainly a happy camper to go wandering out of there after I'd done my time.